Welcome to episode 20 of the Two Average Guys Sport Podcast. Just a couple average dudes talking about sports. No former playing experience, no former man experience. Literally two average guys. My name is Sam. This is my co-host here, Espen. Espen, how are we doing today on a fabulous Monday?
God, it's Monday when it's just snowing and freezing and it's just you got no energy. It is what it is. We're gonna continue to grind. It's another Monday. What can I say?
A snowy October day in Kansas, and just a 65 shitty day out here in Northern Virginia. Not promising, man.
Nope. What a great start.
Literally. We have some NBA news, some MLB, college football, NFL, other sport news, including golf, and the Zozo Championship, I think is how it's pronounced. And then a new top five, as always, on Mondays. Shall we go ahead and get started?
Let's do it.
All right, so we're back to the NBA to start after a couple episodes off. And I only say this because, Pat Riley, who is the Miami Heat president, I'm pretty sure GM as well, he said that if Bam Adebayo and Gordon Dragic were healthy and played the whole NBA Finals, that it would have gone to 7 games. Do you think that's the case? Because I thought I was big on the Heat, and they look dead.
Yeah. If you wanna include them in the mix, I just think if they were playing LeBron and AD would have played just that much harder, and the Lakers just still would have won in 6.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it would have made much of a difference. Obviously, it would have been nice for the Heat playing the what-if game. What if we had Adebayo and Dragic? I don't think it would have made much of a difference.
Yeah,
that's basically what
it just. I mean, the Lakers just looked better. I mean, at the end of the day, they just looked better, and like you said, if Adebayo and Dragic and what if that, I mean, LeBron and AD would have played harder. Earning LeBron's 4th ship or 3rd now. He's on his 4th.
He's on his 4th, yeah.
Yeah. In other NBA news, though, we have a potential start date on Christmas Day, maybe before. I'm a happy person. As a Jewish person, the only reason we like Christmas is because of basketball. I like this move. 72-game season. What are your thoughts? Only 10 games less in a whole month and really a month and a half less almost, if not 2 months.
Yeah, I've seen. First and foremost, I like this move. During the NBA lockout season back in like 2012, 2013, whenever it was.
Yeah.
Something around there. They started on Christmas Day, which was a fun start date. It's there's really not much to do on Christmas Day once you're done opening your presents and spending time with family. So always have basketball in the background. But I saw that they're thinking about doing they're kind of going to try and emulate like a baseball series in a sense. So like you're going to have, for example, like if you have a team, I'll just say the Boston Celtics, for example, they got to go play at the Knicks and at the Nets. They're going to try and maybe do, like 2 games at New York and then go play 2 games in Brooklyn. So you get 4 games out of it. So I think that's the smartest move because obviously the players, they're not going to have a bubble in the NBA for the upcoming season.
Yeah. And so like you said, like they're like, oh, well, like the Lakers, for example, if they play a team like Brooklyn and New York, they'll play, New York, then Brooklyn, then New York, and then Brooklyn again, and vice versa. Because, I mean, realistically, you have maybe 4 not even 4, probably 3 cross-country road trips throughout the season. So I like this move. I think it's probably best for the game, just limiting traveling. NBA continues to do a really good job kind of handling COVID and not letting it necessarily, like, affect – I don't want to say not necessarily because, we had the bubble and we lost 10 games. Now, I don't know what would have happened in those 10 games, but I like this move. I have to agree. I like this move.
And also, what they can do is you don't have less East-West Coast games. Just play more interconference. More division games, which I think would be just a smart move for the NBA.
Yeah, I mean, I think it brings out more competition within your own division. More excitement between rivals for a team like, I would say, Boston versus New York, but New York's not good. And on top of that, there's probably not going to be any fans. So the truth be told is, like, it doesn't really matter if the Wizards or Charlotte Hornets go out and play the Lakers. How many Charlotte fans are in LA? Like, it's better for LA to obviously, yeah, my point. It's like, It doesn't really matter. So I agree with you. I don't think that I think the NBA season is going to be fine. I don't think it's going to be great. But who knows? Also, bring back Christmas Day jerseys. The white ones were the best.
Those were good. Also, NBA draft's coming up in 3-4 weeks. I think it's the week before Thanksgiving. So got the NBA draft coming up, so that'll be exciting to follow and watch.
Yeah, I mean, in this case, assuming it happens, the Knicks should play the Pelicans, Lonzo versus LaMelo. That'd be
Oh,
interesting.
ooh, oh yeah, because the Knicks are I think the 3rd or 4th pick.
I don't know what they're at, but they always seem to mess that up. So they'll
Yeah,
probably go get like some random guy.
yeah.
Transition from one bubble to another one that is still going on. MLB. I'll let you go ahead and take this one because it's been craziness, and you can say about Game 4.
Yeah, so after we last talked on Thursday, game 3 happened. Dodgers looked really good, and then game 4 was probably the wildest baseball game of the postseason so far, probably of the season, maybe wildest World Series walk-off ever, for that matter. It was the bats were coming alive. Both LA and Tampa were both, they were cranking out some runs. I know Mookie had a couple RBIs, and Brandon Lau was playing really solid for Tampa, but then we head to the 9th inning. Dodgers have a 7-6 lead over Tampa. Tampa gets a couple guys on base. And so the Dodgers are one strike away from making this a 3-1 series and going up, And then all hell breaks loose. Brett Phillips. Brett Phillips comes up to the bat and hits a single into right field. Right center field, yeah. And okay, so you're like, all right, the guy's on second, so it's gonna be a tied game. And then I forget who it is that trips and falls, but they bobble the Dodgers fielding. They bobble the baseball and they throw it away from home, and the Tampa Bay Rays somehow win that game. It was absolutely insane. Twitter was going crazy. It was one of the crazier sports moments I've seen in a while.
Did the catcher catch the ball?
No, so
I thought because what I saw was like he caught it and tried to swipe it and he just lost it. But I don't know. I'm old. I was asleep, so.
Yeah, it happened so fast. I'm trying to think now. He might have caught it, but yeah, it just got away. And that might have been the first guy to ever trip between the third and home baseline and still score. He tripped and he still scored. So, but then the Dodgers, they took a 3-2 series lead last night. So they're one win away from the World Series. You think Dodgers close this out, or do you think Tampa gets 2 in a row?
I like I said, man, I think this is a back and forth series. I think Tampa wins Game 6. We're recording on Monday, so tomorrow night, but when this comes out tonight, I just wanted to bring this up real quick. Clayton Kershaw with another good performance in the World Series. He has a 2.31 ERA. Is he the potential World Series MVP if the Dodgers win, or do you give it to a guy like Corey Seager or Jock Peterson or
Mookie?
I mean, that's the thing about the Dodgers. They just they're not all stars, but they all make them stars. It's just LA. It's all that. I mean, I feel like you have to give it to Kershaw just because he's Clayton Kershaw and he's sucked forever. And he's done so many bad things for this franchise, but
it's just a pity MVP vote, basically.
Yeah,
that's
pretty
basically
much
what it is. Yeah, I would say I mean I didn't watch much of the game last night, but on Sunday night for that matter. But he's looked good. He's actually come alive for once, and he's throwing some nasty balls that Tampa can't hit. So
really nasty balls. I mean, really nasty balls.
that didn't
sound right. Who do you have in Game 6?
I'll take, like you said, I think back and forth series. I'm gonna go Tampa, but I think the Dodgers are gonna be. I think ultimately they'll close it out and win it for LA. Their drought for championships it's been a few weeks, so I think they get another one.
Yeah, for sure. And then going from baseball to college football Saturdays. Crazy week? ? Big week, few upsets. Let's go ahead and get started on this, shall we?
Yeah, probably the biggest game of the week was Indiana-Penn State. Kind of an underrated game that I think most people thought Penn State would blow Indiana out. We didn't even talk about this, but so they go to overtime. It was a crazy back and forth game in the fourth quarter, and then they go to overtime in Indiana. The receiver dives into the end zone, and they call. Was it on the 2-point conversion or the touchdown?
So that was on the No, it was on the 2-point conversion. I believe.
Because it was to win, and so the ball it's at the half-yard line. If you zoom in, the ball's not in. I don't think it got in. I don't think it counted, at least from and they counted it, and Indiana beat Penn State. So
imagine James Franklin being so pissed off. He's like, we want to play football. Like, COVID can't stop us. The rest of the conference. And then you go losing at Indiana. Like, come on, man.
Penn State and you know who they get this upcoming Saturday? They get Ohio State. So Penn State may easily be 0-2.
OH, baby. OH. I mean, just a crazy good game. But from one Big Ten team to another, let's talk about it. Wisconsin quarterback makes his debut. He is a freshman, 18 years old, goes 20 for 21. They played Illinois. Just crazy stats. Looks really good. Are we looking at, a potential shocking Heisman if he keeps playing?
We are not, because I don't know if you saw this. He tested positive for COVID a couple days ago.
What? No way.
Yeah, he tested positive.
Oh,
and for Big Ten protocol, you have to sit out for 21 days.
What?
Or it may have been a false positive, but I know he had to take like another nasal test, but I'm not sure if that test came back. But from what I saw,
damn, that sucks, man.
Is it official? He tested positive.
So this says Wisconsin. This was at 7:21 last night, I believe. So at 7:21 last night, Wisconsin QB Graham Mertz awaiting confirmation of positive COVID-19 test per report. And so the next three opponents for Wisconsin is Nebraska, and then host Purdue, and then they travel to Michigan, who is number 13.
Yeah, he looked good, and I think Wisconsin would be legit this year if he. Man,
that's rough. That's rough, man.
And it's 21 days to sit out. So that's and for Big Ten, I mean that's half the season. That's 2
that's
weeks.
Literally like 40% of the season when you look at it in the whole grand scheme of things.
Yeah, it's.
Screw whatever I said. It doesn't matter clearly.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm gonna be honest. It just sucks to suck.
But then going from one Big Ten quarterback to the other, Justin Fields looks very good. Dominating against Nebraska. Ohio State looks really solid. I think we were kind of expecting this. You think he looks like the number 2 pick behind Trevor Lawrence for sure?
Yeah, I mean, I think you have to look at it. But here's my question. I'll actually get back to the question. You have Trey Lance from North Dakota State. You have Zach something from BYU. You obviously have, like Sam Ehlinger, like you have those guys. Do you think that someone might be scared of drafting Justin Fields because of past Ohio State quarterbacks? You look at Cardell Jones, didn't do great. I believe he got drafted. JT Barrett. Yeah. You look at Dwayne Haskins. Yeah, I mean, Braxton Miller was a quarterback, then switched to receiver there, obviously, and then he got drafted as a receiver. But as a GM, are you scared of potentially drafting someone because of where they went in their past history at that school?
From a lot of these big college programs, they don't really pan out in the NFL because they go to kind of the crap organizations, which, I mean, it's hard to, turn around teams. But you look at like the guys go to Alabama or go to Georgia, Clemson. I mean, Deshaun Watson can be an exception. But, I mean, you look at the, star quarterbacks in the NFL, they didn't go to the biggest and best colleges. Like, you look at today's stars of the NFL, Lamar Jackson, he went to Louisville. Patrick Mahomes, Texas Tech.
Dak Prescott went to Mississippi State. Russell Wilson went to North Carolina State and then transferred to Wisconsin. So, I mean, you're not wrong by any means. I mean, Aaron Rodgers, Cal. Like, Jared Goff, Cal. Josh Allen, Wyoming. So, it makes you think, like.
Yeah, it's like I said, Deshaun Watson's probably the exception. Going to Clemson, winning a national championship there, and then he's had a pretty solid career so far in the NFL. But if I'm a team, I mean, if you're just like a team like the Jets, you gotta just throw all the beans in the bag and just be like, all right, we gotta just look at these guys who are coming out of college and talent trumps past mistakes from other teams, but. Should be interesting to see.
Yeah, I mean, definitely, kind of going off what you said, it almost seems to me like it's almost like running backs. Like running backs, you can find a quality running back in the 3rd or 4th round because there's so many of them. And I feel like the same kind of goes with QBs. Now, obviously, you're not drafting someone who went 0-10 in college. But a guy like Shane Buechele at SMU very much so could be easily a 4th or 5th round pick. And he's someone that could eventually 2-3 years down the line make it somewhere. It's just, I don't want to say Justin Fields is different, but it seems to be obviously he's more of a pocket passer. It's tough to say. I mean, it really is.
Yeah, so sucks that Ohio State won, but
But I will say this: if he goes to a place where they have weapons, say the Atlanta Falcons, which we'll get back to as the dumpster fire, and you have targets like Julio Jones, like Calvin Ridley, do you think that's a little bit more successful? That
I
he would
think
be a little
so.
bit more successful?
It's with these first round draft picks for quarterbacks, it's all about who you have around you. If you're the Jets, you don't have any pieces to your puzzle. You can't throw it to, and the only guy you
Mm,
did have is gone. So I mean,
yeah.
you just gotta kind of see who fits with what organization and whatnot. And even Justin Herbert, wasn't a super highly rated quarterback in the draft and ends up
Mm-hmm.
in the Chargers, and he's looked pretty damn good.
He battled close against the Saints in New Orleans. I mean, he played
He
very, very well yesterday against Jacksonville.
he played really great against the Chiefs in his
Yeah.
debut. So
Yeah, I think it should be definitely interesting to watch. Next game, I'll let you go ahead and steal this one.
uh I did not watch much of this game. I watched a little bit late.
Uh,
Cincinnati. What were
I'll
you gonna
save it
say?
for you. Cincinnati kicked SMU's ass. I thought we both thought this was a pretty good game. Cincinnati just kicked their ass. SMU didn't show up. Next game. I mean, I'm gonna keep it real simple. There's nothing to it.
I think you picked SMU. I picked Cincinnati. So shout out
Yeah.
to me for. But then next one, Oklahoma State. They battle Iowa State. Um, Oklahoma State, they're the only shot the Big 12 has is getting a playoff team in. I always cheer for the conference, even if it's K State. I would still cheer. I would still cheer for K State over like an Alabama or Clemson in the
You're
college
crazy, man.
football.
That's like me trying to like cheering for the Eagles. Like,
They're not, but the thing is, they see us more of a rival than we see them as a rival. That's the thing. Like,
yeah, I don't know why though. They're in
and
Manhattan, Kansas.
I still consider like even though we haven't played them in a while, like I consider Mizzou our rival, but I
Yeah.
hate Missouri with everything in my
Hey,
gut.
they did a good game for charity a couple of years ago.
That's true, but yeah, Oklahoma State, they look solid still. They really haven't played anybody solid or haven't really played. I guess Iowa State's a pretty solid team, but
Hmm.
transitioning to one team in the Big 12 to the absolute clowns of the Big 12, Kansas. Their loss is looking a little bit better with Coastal Carolina. They're continuing to climb up the rankings.
Yeah, I mean, Coastal Carolina's what, like top 20 now, maybe like
Yeah,
21. So makes Kansas look a little bit better. It's not, oh, we lost to Coastal Carolina. It's like, oh, we lost to number 21 ranked Coastal Carolina.
it's rough.
Um,
I'm gonna leave it at that.
yeah, not promising. Top five of the week, Clemson at number one, beating Syracuse, and what would have been a close game, and then they just pulled away. Alabama, did they play this weekend? They played Tennessee, right?
Yeah, they beat Tennessee.
I didn't watch that game. Ohio State obviously killing Nebraska. Another team. Ryan Day, you should not be sorry for scoring another touchdown. Nebraska sucks. Keep shitting on them. Notre Dame, they're still the hoax of the ACC. I can't wait until they play Clemson because Clemson's going to absolutely destroy them.
This weekend they play Clemson. This weekend.
Is that this weekend? I will be watching. I hope Notre Dame gets their asses kicked. And then number 5, Georgia, who I think is another joke. They pump out guys left and right, but it's Georgia. Can't stand them.
So
The only player I've ever liked that has gone to Georgia is Rodrigo Blankenship.
that dude is a stud. He's leading the league in scoring, and he's
I
leading the
know,
NFL.
66 points.
I mean, the dude just looks. I mean, the dude just looks like the ultimate.
Tank.
I don't even. Yeah, he just. Yeah, but yeah. So, and shout out to Notre Dame when you were just completely wrong about Notre Dame last week, saying that they were going to get upset by Pittsburgh, and I said they're going to come out and blow Pittsburgh out of the board. That's exactly what they do.
You're not wrong. I got that game wrong. And then our weird top 25. Go ahead, steal us.
Boise State get into the rankings. I think they just have to, honestly, with some of these teams, they just got to fill spots in the rankings. I think that's how they're like some of these teams are getting ranked. They're only 1-0, and then USC, I think, climbed into the polls this week, having not played a game at
Come on,
21.
man. I'm pretty sure Liberty isn't like Liberty. I believe is 6-0 now, and they're still not ranked. And I find that pretty funny.
That's kind of weird. I would give them a little bit of love. I mean,
Yeah, I don't know.
not love because it's Liberty, but like
Yeah,
as
you
a
can't
as a
love at
football.
Liberty. The only person you can love is Jesus. Just
Yes,
cross
amen,
action right there.
amen to that.
And then going from our Saturdays to our Sundays, I guess kind of a productive Sunday. Not really anything special happening. But our news, there's like a
oh,
couple things. Okay, as a Cowboy fan, you don't want to watch football. All right, your team sucks.
okay. Let's hold up. The 1 o'clock games yesterday were incredible in the fourth quarter. It was the best week of football we've had.
There was two, one, two.
I'll just go down the list. Cleveland,
All right, well,
Cincinnati.
hold on. We got some sport news first, all right? OBJ gets injured, tears his ACL. Should he retire? I know it's crazy, but he's had ankle sprains. He has ACL injuries. He has all kinds of injuries. Should he be done early? Calvin Johnson this. I like OBJ. I hated him when he was on the Giants because he killed the Cowboys, and he killed the Cowboys a couple weeks ago when he was on the Browns. But, I mean, it's just too many injuries. How many do you really need?
Has OBJ had one of the weirdest NFL careers in recent memory, you think?
Yeah, I mean, he started out, if I remember correctly, so he gets drafted, and then he misses like the first 4 games because of an injury, and then he comes back and plays, makes an insane catch, and then injury, he's traded to the Browns. All right, he played through an injury last season, and he gets injured this season. I hate to see it because he's such a talented player, but
yeah, you gotta the injury bug. I mean, once you had that many injuries, you really gotta think, reassess like where your career's going, and you don't want to do permanent damage to your body by continuing to play. So, that'll be an interesting story in the offseason. Then going from one injury to another, I'll let you take the next one for your boys.
Ben DiNucci time in Dallas, baby. Ben DiNucci time. Andy Dalton. He goes down on a cheap shot. I'm going to say it later. The 2020 Cowboys are similar to the 2015 Cowboys. In 2015, we started the season 2-0. Romo goes down in the second game against the Eagles. Brandon Whedon comes in. He sucks. We lose like the next 5 or 6. Then I don't think he got injured. Then Matt Castle came in, who was supposed to like save us because he took the pass in the Chiefs to like the playoffs, or he got close to it. And then he sucks. And we win like 2 games the rest of the season. So it's very similar to me. It's just, you hate to see it because it's of injuries. And then I feel like this team has just lost every bit of momentum, players, brotherhood. The things that would make a football team just are gone. So
tough to be a Cowboys fan right now. That's kind of all I have
we
to
will
say
never win a Super Bowl with Jerry Jones as our owner.
I've been saying that for a decade.
He's great for financials, and he sells a lot of shit, and that's great. But at the end of the day, your football team's not good.
Can't stand the asshole. Can't stand the asshole. Speaking of another asshole, Antonio Brown. A little transition there. Antonio Brown, he gets a second chance, or is this the second, third, or fourth, fifth chance, maybe?
All right, realistically, it's like the 4th, but
yeah,
this is like a true second.
I don't even know if he's changed his mentality. He's going to play for Tampa after his suspension's up. I'm not sure if I like the move to Tampa. With the weapons they have, they seem like they have a good team going.
I just want to pull this up that he has not tweeted since September 24th, which is a little bit over a month ago. So, promise.
Wow. We'll have to see. It's gonna take some time to get him into the system. If he stays out of trouble, he's got Tom Brady, who he played the whole 2 games with in Foxborough last year. One game.
1 game against the Dolphins.
Yeah. Do you like the move?
I like this move. I don't like Antonio Brown as a player. As a person. I like him as a player. Bruce Arians is a very strict head coach in some ways, and he said it. He said it best. It's either you're going to support this team or you're going to like get out. And so,
kind of that no BS mentality. With Arians, yeah.
Yeah, it's very good for him for getting another chance. Good for Bruce Arians for controlling that locker room. I don't think he brings any additions to the team. Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, Scotty something. A little bit of hope maybe, but I don't. Based on the Bucs yesterday and how they played, they don't need another guy.
Yeah. And then speaking of the game, that team and they played Vegas. They had a crazy week of COVID cases. They got settled before the game. I don't think anybody was out. Trent Brown, I think it was a false positive. So it was nice to have a week where we don't have any. Go ahead.
There was 5 Raiders offensive linemen that initially tested positive. 4 come back, turned out to be negative. The right tackle was positive, and I think he missed the game. I don't know if that was Trent Brown or someone else.
No, because I saw Trent Brown playing yesterday, so he was. There's no way it was him.
Okay, so there was one guy that was missing because of COVID. You hate to see it, but it is what it is. That's it, man. That's it. I guess another COVID news. Raquel Armstead, someone you probably never heard of, and which sucks. So he's a Jacksonville Jaguars running back. When they cut Fournette, I think it was before the season, right? It was like 3 days before the season. This guy was expected to take over. He got COVID, and he has not recovered from it yet. He's been in the hospital with some serious issues. He's been hospitalized twice. He's out for the season. So prayers up for him. You just hate to see it.
That sucks. It's just a reminder. You still gotta take this seriously, and it can get the best of athletes, and it's for everybody's immune system. It's different, so you just gotta still keep aware of this. It's still going on, and just wear a mask. That's all.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, it doesn't matter who you are. If you're an athlete, it doesn't matter if you're the president. Obviously, it doesn't matter. It's gonna probably get to you eventually. I hate to say it, but it doesn't seem like we're improving on this. And how everyone's body reacts, how it reacts. So wear a mask, use hand sanitizer, drink tequila. Summary of the games. Let's go ahead.
So starting with the absolute shit show of a Thursday night game, the Giants and the Eagles. Daniel Jones, wow, that was something. He breaks away, and that was something. That's all I have to say.
He did get over 20 miles per hour on that, though. That's crazy.
How did he didn't look that fast.
No, there was like how Amazon does it, like speed metric or whatever. I'm pretty sure he got to like 20 miles per hour, and then it just went downhill.
It was the most NFC East game imaginable. It was just nobody
won. Worse. There's a worse NFC East game of the week.
At least one team wanted to win that game. Neither team seemed like they wanted to win this game. So the Giants blew the lead. Eagles come back, and the 2-4-1 Eagles are in the playoffs as of now.
Yeah, seriously, it's scary. NFC South matchup. Teddy Bridgewater has his reunion in New Orleans, but Breeze outduels his former backup. Teddy Bridgewater, man, good for him. I loved him when he was in Minnesota. He's a smart passer. He doesn't make long throws. He's fine getting the ball out quickly. Good for him. I'm happy for him.
Everybody was saying Carolina's going to be this awful 2-3 win team this year. They just, they're not. I was thinking, like, are you guys crazy? They still got a decent. Bridgewater's not a bad quarterback, and they're still alive, and I think they're 3-4 right now. So they're kind of on the bottom edge of that playoff hunt. But if crazy things can happen with an extra team this year, you never know what can happen.
Yeah, for sure. Like you said, they have weapons. They have McCaffrey. They have DJ Moore. They have Robbie Anderson. So they have guys who can produce. I think Matt Rule's done an incredible job turning the culture around in that place. Not saying Ron Rivera couldn't. It's just you didn't feel the same love. You didn't see the same love. So pretty good job by Carolina so far. 7 games in.
Also, a little shout out to Ron Rivera. Today he finished his last cancer treatment, so good for him. Cool to see. He got to ring that special bell when they finished treatment. So hopefully he stays healthy and it doesn't return. Always liked him as a coach, so good for him.
Yep, for sure. Next one.
Moving on to the next one. Kind of I would say probably big surprise. Buffalo wins. Doesn't score a single touchdown. 18-10 crap win over the Jets. I think we were a little too high on Buffalo early. They haven't looked great at all the last 3 weeks, with those 2 losses against Tennessee and Kansas City, and then, struggling against the Jets this week.
Can I say this?
Yeah, go ahead.
What the hell goes in your mind to think, hey, Frank Gore might be better than Le'Veon Bell?
Frank Gore's 114 years old.
Don't get me wrong. Dude's a Hall of Famer, in my opinion, but, 5 years ago he was a Hall of Famer, not now, not 2020. I mean, he's like LaShawn McCoy. Like they just don't stop playing.
We had LaShawn McCoy on our team last year. I think we got rid of him because he just kept fumbling the ball. But I'm pretty sure Frank Gore, like I think he was able to apply for AARP, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, yeah. He's gonna get the 401k. He's trying to save up for that apparently.
Yeah. The Jets. The Jets play the Chiefs this upcoming week, so I actually saw an early spread. The Chiefs were 21-point favorites for the Jets in an NFL game.
I'll take the over on the. Oh wait, no. I say the Chiefs cover the spread. I think they probably beat them like 42 to like 3. It's gonna be a shit show. I mean, the truth be told, it's gonna be a shit show. And the Battle of Ohio also giving me another game on top of Espen. A really good game to say the least. 2 quarterbacks. I know we didn't, we talked about earlier. Former Oklahoma QB Baker Mayfield has a 5-touchdown game. But Joe Burrow, he hung in there, man. And they were 1 play away from winning it, and then the Browns had to go and screw that up.
Yeah, the Thursday game they played earlier this season was really good too. I think this could be a really good rivalry moving forward with Burrow and Baker in this division. I was really hoping I would get to this game right, but just
Cleveland. You were so close too. I was watching. I'm like kind of nervous because I'm like, shit, like Cincinnati's gonna beat them. But like, if you look at Cincinnati's like games this year, they played really well considering the circumstances. Playing Cleveland twice close. The Eagles they tied. I mean, they got blown out by the Ravens, who not really a surprise.
They played the Colts really close. They blew a huge lead though.
Yeah. So they have I would say a decent or good future.
Their field goal kicker missed a field goal against the Chargers in week 1. It could be like 5-2 if you think about it.
Mm-hmm.
If things went their way.
Yeah. Realistically, they would have lost to the Ravens, and I think that would have been about it.
Yeah, but
yeah,
good game there.
Well, you can take it, man. I'll give my rant.
So Dallas and Washington play each other. Boy, this was just rough to watch. We both picked Dallas. I think we both continue to pick Dallas. Why do we keep picking Dallas? Are questions we are continuing to ask ourselves.
You're gonna hear me pick against Dallas for the first time on Thursday's episode. So
yeah, Cowboys look awful. We kind of touched on it earlier. Andy Dalton's hurt, concussion, out for a while. They have JMU quarterback who's coming in now. I think they should go pick up Ryan Fitzpatrick. Screw the Miami Dolphins. They screwed him over. Go get. If he goes to Dallas, I think he turns him into the winner of that division. I just think I think he
Patrick's good. He's not that good.
No. I think he just brings that positive mojo.
How many kids does Fitzpatrick have? Could he make an NFL offense?
Well, I mean, the Cowboys more than I do.
I'm thinking if Fitzpatrick can make an NFL offense with the amount of kids he has. Or is that Phillip Rivers? That's Phillip Rivers.
That's Rivers.
Yeah.
I mean, the Cowboys more than I do. So what are your
thoughts?
I'm
going to get into it real quick. Just obviously, like he said, it was a very bad game, very poor game. I think the Cowboys had 145 yards total in the whole game. That's what teams put up in the first quarter, maybe the first 3 drives. It wasn't promising. That's number 1. Number 2 is the defense plays with no heart. They're all this shit about like, let's stick together, let's get together, let's play better. We suck. I mean, we suck. The truth is we suck. And you know what? You got to live with that. And until your defense wants to step up, we're not good. That's number 2. Number 3 is, obviously, I get it. There's injuries, there's all this, and there's excuses. And you're right, there are excuses. But there's no reason you should only be putting up 3 points against a team like the Washington football team. I was about to say the Redskins, but obviously eliminated. So it's just bad. And then, like they say, I don't believe that coaching is prepared. I don't think the coaches are prepared. They say they are. It just doesn't seem that way. And I don't think Mike McCarthy is the guy that's going to lead the Dallas in the future past this year. He's pointing fingers at the players, saying, pissed off about that they didn't help out Dalton. I see it both ways. Obviously you could be like, oh yeah, go hit the guy, like F him. But then he gets, another backup offensive lineman gets removed from the game. So it's not good. It's not good. And I hope someone in the front office, particularly Jerry Jones, has the balls to fire someone, because the truth be told is this isn't it. And if we had Dak Prescott, I think you could argue we might win one more game the rest of this year, maybe two more, but I don't think we have a chance any single game the rest of this year. We're just not good.
I wasn't a fan of Mike McCarthy getting hired to begin with. People said it was in Green Bay. Oh, it's Aaron Rodgers. It's all Aaron Rodgers. No, it was Mike McCarthy. Aaron Rodgers hated the guy. They could never get on the same page after they won that Super Bowl. And Mike McCarthy's just not a great football coach. Yeah, he won a Super Bowl. He's just not. He's just not a good football coach.
I mean,
I don't think he's really well liked amongst a lot of players either.
I'm going to have to agree with you partly there. I think part of it's like, okay, I don't want to say he's a terrible football coach, because obviously he's decent, right? I think he's a decent coach, but I don't think he's anything spectacular. Also, the Cowboys were so set on him, they only interviewed him and Marvin Lewis, and they interviewed Marvin Lewis because of the Rooney Rule. So it's just like, why don't you take your time, kind of look at the options? And I think that's what we might be doing this offseason. I think we're going to take a step back and kind of figure out, okay, who are the potential coaches that we could hire? Because there are teams in this league that have worse records that I think are better coached. I mean, they might even have better records. Brian Flores, Miami Dolphins. Matt Patricia, I think, is a better coach than Mike McCarthy. Ron Rivera obviously does a tremendous job. Matt Rule.
Zach Taylor for Cincinnati.
Yeah, Zach Taylor for Cincinnati. I think Joe Judge and the Giants. I mean, I know that they're 1-5, but they are a damn good coach team. Now, it's not their fault. They have players that, aren't exactly the best. But I just think that it's sad, man. It really is.
I have Dallas's answer, Lincoln Riley.
And the truth be told is, I wouldn't mind that. But right now, what I think we need a guy, even if it's not Mike McCarthy, we need a guy who's going to get in the defense's faces and, like, get the fuck pumped up, because they're just not playing with energy. And it's sad.
Yeah.
It really, and you know what? The truth be told is, I'm about to just gamble it all, because I would be embarrassed for you to wear Cowboy gear at the end of the season.
Yeah, it's not looking great for me.
That's my rant. I'm sorry, that's my rant.
Okay. But yeah, going into the formerly coached team for Mike McCarthy, the Packers. They played the Texans. I didn't really watch much of it. I was following Devontae Adams, his crazy day. He had, I think, 2 or 3 touchdowns and 150, 75 yards, something like that. Packers still look really good. Houston has no defense. That's about it. Green Bay, they're just beating bad teams. That's what Green Bay does, and they'll fly on the playoffs like they always do. So they're not a Super Bowl contender. So, no. Yeah,
for sure. Next, the Lions versus the Falcons. Surprisingly good game.
I hate Atlanta. I hate the Falcons.
We said at the beginning of the year, Matt Stafford is going to keep you in the game. You might win, you might lose, and then you got Atlanta. And Atlanta cannot seem to put together a win because they just suck. I mean, they are terrible. Arthur Blank, the owner of the Atlanta Falcons, is going to line all of his players up and shoot them in the head because they don't know how to keep a lead. I mean, this was bad. Todd Gurley should have fell.
That Todd Gurley play, we got to talk about that. I mean, how you just got to land at the half-yard line and you kick a 19-yard field goal to win, and the Detroit Lions get no chance to score. You run the clock down. I get it.
Like, it's not automatic. You could argue, okay, it's not an automatic field goal. The dude, if you cannot kick a ball between two posts at 19 yards, it should be damn well automatic.
Yeah, bad. I think for Gurley it was a mental lapse. You could see at the end. I think he had his momentum though had carried him over the goal line. I think he was trying at the very last possible second. He was like, "Oh crap, I need to probably not fall in here," and it was just too late at that point.
Yeah. You know what it reminded me of? It reminded me of Giants versus the Patriots the second time around when I think it was Jacoby Jacobs fell down.
I'm not sure I remember that, but
so he could have fallen on like the 2-yard line or something like that, but he fell inside the touchdown. Like he wasn't trying to score, and then I mean obviously they won the game, so not as bad. But Atlanta, you suck.
Yeah, Atlanta sports not great. Going from pretty good game to another good game. Tennessee, Pittsburgh, the battle of the undefeateds. So Steelers go up early, jump out to a huge lead. Tennessee comes back. They actually had a chance to, I think, take the lead on one of the drives there, but then Pittsburgh pulls away at the end.
Pretty good game.
Yeah, pretty good game. Pittsburgh's probably the worst 6-0 team in NFL history, I think.
Hey, they're last undefeated, though.
Hey, the last undefeated hasn't won a Super Bowl since 2006, so I don't think they win a Super Bowl.
No, they won in 2010 or 9 when they beat the Cardinals.
No, I'm saying the last undefeated team every season in the NFL.
Oh, okay, cool.
It hasn't. I think the last team was the Colts. The Colts in 06 with Manning. That was the last team to do it. So, if you're undefeated last, I don't think but
here's my thing, right? The Titans kicker missed by like that much to tie the game. Not good. Not promising. Brady and the Bucks, we talked about this a little bit earlier. Go now to Vegas, Party City, come out with the win. They put together a few good wins now after that Bears loss. They're starting to look better, man. They're starting to look better.
They're a good football team. Their defense is still, Vegas has a pretty solid offense, I would say. They're just putting up good numbers. Tampa, I would say they are the favorites to win the NFC South now. It's going to be between them and New Orleans, obviously.
I don't think New Orleans is real.
Really? You've been off that New Orleans train all year.
I'm not I think Drew Brees is done. I don't see him having another good year.
I mean, at the end of the day, they're still 4-2. But
yeah, you're not wrong there. You're not wrong.
They're actually outside the playoff picture, though. I think they're sitting in 8th.
Oh, good. Go ahead. Steal the next one.
Happy Halloween snow time. Snow in October in Denver. It was wow. This game it got out of hand early. Denver is terrible. They're
not good.
I don't know.
I thought this would have been a close game. I texted you. I was like, it's going to be like 27-10, not a blowout.
This was like, I don't know how to describe this game. It was probably the most complete game the Chiefs have put together so far this year. They scored on all three. They scored 102-yard kickoff, return touchdown. They had a pick six. Patrick Mahomes had a below average day. He threw for 200 yards and 1 touchdown, and they win by 27 points. I mean,
crazy.
I was texting you saying, if you're just a team, you got to be so annoyed playing this team. Just they can beat you in all aspects of the game. They beat Buffalo running the ball last week. I can see why we may become one of the more hated teams in football.
You're getting close to it.
Yeah, and it's just like we have it so easy right now compared to some other teams. Like you as a Cowboys fan, it's just wins just seem to come so easy to us. It's just I'm not complaining. We're 6-1. We have a pretty easy schedule. I think we're probably going to be ending up 14-2 this year.
Yeah, it's definitely looking like that. But from one AFC West matchup to another AFC West team, we spoke briefly about it. Justin Herbert, looking like the second best quarterback out of the class, puts on a really, really good performance. I know it's against the Jags, they suck. At the end of the day, they're still an NFL football team. And so he just looked good. Just shout out to him for that. Really good matchup. Good win for Cardinals.
Win's a win.
Yeah.
A win's a win at the end of the day. That's you'll take any win you can get in the NFL. So.
Yeah, for sure. Next one.
Well, I'm happy about this one. Patriots fall to 2-4. Cam Newton gets benched. I didn't see this coming. I actually picked the Patriots. You gained another game on me this week. So
I'm up 5 going into tonight's Monday night matchup.
We got a different game, so I really need the Rams to beat the Bears.
Go Bears.
Go Rams. But Cam Newton, he's starting to look a little shaky. He's starting
to look like injured Cam Newton.
Yes,
which is not a pretty sight.
The 49ers continue to be the most confusing team in the NFL. They just keep proving that every week. They're sitting 4-3 now, right back in the playoff hunt.
2 good wins after that loss to the Dolphins, though. They beat the 49ers, and now they beat the Patriots.
Well, they are the 49ers. So how they –
What I said? They beat the Rams.
So the 49ers beat the 49ers. But, yeah, the Rams, good win. I don't think the Patriots are legit this year. They're missing the playoffs. The AFC is stacked. They're 2 games out of the playoffs right now. Where are they going to make up those games? I don't see where.
They'll beat the Jets, obviously. I don't know if they played the Jets yet. But then you have to consider it that the Dolphins, I think, could beat them. I would not be surprised.
And the Bills are.
Yeah, the Bills are one of those teams that could probably beat them. I think they'll go 1-1 against the Bills. But Patriots missing the playoffs. That's not a pretty sight.
They've had their time. It's time for them to stop winning.
And then our last game of the week, Sunday night, obviously a crazy game to say the least. Both quarterbacks played well. Russell Wilson actually got outdueled here. Threw 3 picks. DK Metcalf saving him one for a pick 6. Game goes to overtime. Field goal kicker for the Cards misses. Gets another chance, makes it. What is happening?
Seattle cannot play a normal NFL football game. They just don't want to. It's
If they have to make it close.
Yeah, shout out to Tyler Lockett for being on my opposing fantasy teams. I was projected to win by 25 points, and then I was playing a guy who had Tyler Lockett, and Tyler Lockett goes for 200 yards and 3 touchdowns. So that was fun.
Not pretty.
My undefeated fantasy season has ended.
That's all right. That's all right. But now we're gonna play a game. Contenders are pretenders. So we're just barely under halfway into the season. Are these teams contenders or pretenders? Starting with the AFC, the Buffalo Bills. I have to say they are contenders, but pretenders as well.
I can see both sides of that. I'm going to go with contenders. I think at the end of the day, they're going to be an 11-5 team. I would probably pick where they would finish up. They look good.
So heading from them to the Cleveland Browns, I have to say they are pretenders.
I think they're pretenders as well. They're 5-2.
I think they're one season away, though,
from being like legit Super Bowl contenders.
Legit AFC Championship contenders, because I still think the Chiefs run that conference the next few years.
I think Cleveland will get in the playoffs this year. I think
they'll get in the playoffs, but I think they're pretenders. I think they'll be a first-round exit.
Yeah. But then I would say pretender. And then how about Tennessee? Pretender or contender?
I think Tennessee is the second. They're the second best team in the AFC, obviously, third best team in football. I think Tennessee is going to actually pose a threat to the Chiefs come playoff time. What are your thoughts?
I would say they're contenders as well.
I just think how they battled back against the Steelers, because the Steelers went up early big, and the Titans were able to put together a nice few drives, really good stuff. Just, I think that they are contenders.
Yeah. I would say they're contenders as well, definitely. And then how about moving on to Indianapolis? I say they are pretenders. I think they
are pretenders.
They could sneak in at like the 7th seed in the playoffs. I think they will be like a 9-7, 10-6 team, but I don't see them doing much in the playoffs.
I have to agree with you there. I think they are pretenders as well.
Yeah.
NFC, Arizona Cardinals, fun team to watch. I don't know how the hell I predicted this. Beating Seattle, just contenders or pretenders? I think pretenders.
Well, you had Seattle in our picks, but
I had Seattle in the picks, but I had Arizona getting into the playoffs.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, I think they're contenders. They are legit. They're like you said, they're a fun team to watch. I think the NFC West is going to get. Boy, they could get all 4 teams in that division in the playoffs, which would be something.
Yep, I have to agree with you there.
Yeah, and then Chicago is a contender as well.
I think they're a contender for sure. I guess we're gonna find out tonight against another really good team, against the Rams, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah, and then we move to Tampa. I think Tampa's a pretender.
Wow, really? Is that Brady hate though, or is that something else?
It's a little bit of Brady hate, but at the end of the day, I just don't. You still got to get through Seattle. I think Seattle's they lost. I think Seattle's the team to beat in the NFC this year.
And then the last team,
yeah,
New Orleans. I think New Orleans is a pretender.
Yeah, they haven't looked super good this year. I can see them being both a contender or pretender. I don't think they'll get to the NFC Championship, but could they win a playoff game? Yes. Will they go far? No.
Yeah, I agree with you there. But that is our version of contenders and or pretenders. On either Thursday's episode or Monday's episode, we're going to be talking about the trade deadline coming up on November 3rd, Election Day as well. But give us your other sport news. Has your golf master?
Yeah, I like what you did there, Golf Master. Patrick Cantley shoots an impressive 7 under in the final round. He wins the Zozo Championship by one shot over Justin Thomas, John Rahm. To be honest, I forgot it was on. I did not watch golf yesterday, so
Really?
well, the Chiefs game was on during when that was finishing, so I was kind of more focused on the NFL. There's a stacked field. Tiger and Phil, love to see it at the bottom of the leaderboard the whole week. They're
They're done.
they're yeah, I mean, Tiger could show up at Augusta in a few weeks, but you know, I think this week they're playing in Bermuda, so
Yeah.
I would love to play in Bermuda. That would be
I
fun.
actually looked at the schedule: Bermuda and then Houston, and
That's
then the
a
Masters.
yeah, boy, those are two very different places to want to play golf. Bermuda and Houston.
For sure. But then also we got some soccer matchups. UEFA Champions League as we enter our second group match week.
Yeah.
Big games, not really many. Atletico Madrid at RB Salzburg. Not a great matchup, just two big names going at it.
Yeah, and then next one, Juventus Barcelona. I don't think Ronaldo's playing because he got the corona.
I don't know if he got cleared yet or if not, but if he did get cleared, obviously a great matchup. Two rivals, Ronaldo versus Messi, as well as Americans playing, which we always love to see. Third one, Man United at RB Leipzig. Man United inconsistent as always. RB Leipzig have one of the best defenders, probably top 25 defender in the world, in Upacampo. So we'll see what happens. Can you technical difficulties as always.
Technical difficulties, love.
You're moving again. We like that. And then Martial versus Man City. My face is probably stuck right now, and that's why Espen's laughing. If I had to guess.
No, it's good. Marseille, Man City. I like your pronunciation of that. That's cute. Martial.
Marseille. It's French. I don't know.
Both United and City suck this year, so it's maybe they'll do something in the Champions League. It's go soccer.
And then our top five sport rivals, our top five sport rival matchups of all time. Give me your number five.
Number five, I thought this one was kind of funny. Eddie Manning versus Tom Brady. Tom Brady beat up on Peyton a lot in the AFC, but Eli got the best of him. It was always fun seeing these two Eddie Manning brother play Tom Brady. Shout out to Eli for going 2-0 against him in Super Bowls. I was always a huge Eli fan, so screw you, Tom Brady.
My number five is the USA versus Russia in hockey. You already know. You already know why.
Miracle on Ice.
Yeah, Miracle on Ice, baby. Give me number four.
You'll appreciate this one. Texas, Oklahoma football. Not the sexiness as it was like when they were both great. They both suck now. So my favorite one was when you had Colt McCoy, Sam Bradford. You remember those games? Those games were nuts.
Those are fun. And then both of them turned out to be like terrible in the NFL.
Like I said, big college quarterbacks, terrible in the NFL.
Yeah, like I don't know. The last Texas quarterback that was even decent was Vince Young.
For a couple seasons,
I would say. For a couple seasons. I said kind of. My number four, though, is the Tom Brady era versus the NFL. Probably the most hated quarterback in the game because he's the GOAT. But love Brady, man. Tom freaking Brady. Ted wanted his semen to make a child. Ted 2. Maybe Ted 1. Ted 2. I'm not 100% sure. Bless you with the dab.
Excuse me. My next one is student athletes versus the NCAA, a rivalry that's been going on for a while. Name, image, and likeness thing is coming up. Vote is coming up soon.
January.
Screw the NCAA. I just the
I
way they
agree with you there.
The way they treat and student athletes. Athletes can't make any profit off their name for anything. It's just ridiculous. It's run like a dictatorship. Screw the NCAA.
Damn. My number three is the New York Yankees versus the Boston Red Sox. Never forget when Alex Rodriguez charged the mound, and then we got our asses kicked. But that's okay because we don't have a curse of the Bambino, so I'm cool with it. I'm just straight up cool with it.
My number two would be the exact same thing. The Yankees Red Sox, 27 rings. You've won one in this millennium, or sorry, two in this millennium. Congrats.
Sometimes you hate to see it, man.
I think you guys have as many World Series appearances this millennium as the Royals do, if I'm not mistaken. Because you guys got one in 2000 and one in 09, right?
To that World Series appearances, we were in 01, or
Oh, okay.
2000, 2001, 2002, 2005. When we lost to the Marlins, 2009. Yeah, so we've had 6.
I have a World Series titles. You only have one more than
Hey,
the
how about you
Royals.
shut up? Hey, you know what? No. Did we win in 2002?
I
Was
thought
that
like
the year
the Diamondbacks
no.
won. Didn't you
No.
lose to the Diamondbacks one year?
So, yeah, so 2000 we beat the Mets, 2001 we lost to the Diamondbacks.
Oh,
Yeah.
you beat the the Marlins won in 03.
No, the Marlins beat us in like 05. No, it
No,
was 03.
because that was the Steve Bartman year with
Yeah.
Marlins. So,
Yeah. That was a great time.
who's your number two?
My number 2 is the good old classic Ohio State versus Michigan. Ohio State Hate Week. They cross out all the M's on campus and put in the red tape over it. It's always fun to see.
Yeah, you gotta love these college rivalries. I mean, we could do like top 20 college rivalries, but there's just too many to keep track of now.
Mm-hmm.
Always a good one. And then my number one, I think it's the best rivalry in sports. I hate both these teams with a burning passion, but God, I love these games. North Carolina, Duke. I mean, you really can't get any better than this in basketball. It's just every game is just so electric. You can just feel the atmosphere when they play both at Chapel Hill and both at Durham. As a college basketball fan, I think it's just I'm a little bit biased because that's my favorite sport, but just such a fun game to watch.
Yeah, for sure. And then my number one is Joe Frazier versus Muhammad Ali. If you're a boxing fan, you know these classic matchups that they had. 15 rounds, pummeling in the ring. Just terrific boxing at its finest. But yeah, those are our top 5 sport rivalries.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, good episode. Yeah.
Yeah. Always a good episode. Next week, or excuse me, on Friday's episode, we have a special guest. Shall we reveal?
We'll just say he's very fun to listen to, very entertaining, very interesting, and used to work at the Pro Football Hall of Fame for over 40 years. So
For sure.
Yeah, we'll do that. You can always follow us on Twitter. Going to be above Sam on his screen, T_A_G Sports. Above my screen here is Two Average Guys. Follow us on Twitter, like we said. Give us a review on Apple Podcasts, on Spotify, whatever you like to listen to. Also, important message for everybody over 18: go out and vote. 1 week until the election. We don't like to talk politics, but Sam did it today. He voted early. I'm doing it on election.
Political. Just vote. Use your exercise and vote.
Yeah, you have the right to. We're not a political podcast, but hey, we got to push it. With the election next Tuesday, so go out and vote. I'm doing it on election day, so should be a fun week of sports coming up. World Series coming up.
Yes, World Series Game 3 and Game 3, Game 6, potentially Game 7 tonight, Tuesday, and Wednesday if it goes to 7. As well as we have NFL on Thursday, which we will discuss, I guess you could say. I don't know who the matchup is. Monday night tonight, or I guess last night technically. Bears at Rams. So yeah, good weekend in sports.
Should be a good game. Fall football, full swing.
All right, take care, man. And then like, comment, subscribe always on YouTube, and give us a listen, give us a 5-star rating.
Another great episode, Sam. I'll see you later.
All right, see you, man.